Why is the temperature in Yakutsk 71 degrees Celsius? How does the city's population live? What do they do to even just survive in permafrost? We are not used to such cold weather. The climate here is very dry and cold. A fairly large number of people live here, about 300,000 residents. Yakutsk is the capital of the Sakha Republic, an autonomous region of Russia, located 450 kilometers from the North Pole. Since this place is the northeasternmost point of Siberia, it is highly isolated from the rest of the world. The temperature outside is around -50 degrees. Any boiling water at 100 degrees instantly turns into ice. The record low temperature in this region is -71.2 degrees Celsius. It feels like the city is on another planet. If you leave a banana outside, it will instantly freeze and turn into a rock. People can't wear metal-framed glasses because the metal can stick to their skin, and if they try to take them off, they'll have to peel them off along with their skin. This is a piece of meat that looks very similar to human flesh. Let's press it against a metal pole. These are water pipes, and they are laid above ground because there is ice beneath the surface. In fact, there is permafrost 30 meters thick under the city. Look, the river is completely frozen. During the Soviet era, those who opposed Stalin's policies were exiled to the Sakha Republic. Politicians, artists, and other enemies of the people. In fact, many of those who live in Yakutsk today are their grandchildren. So this place was once a land of exiles, but today life thrives here. I'd say it's life in a frozen hell. Here, the limits of human endurance are put to the test. No matter how much you bundle up, you can never fully keep the warmth in. Winter lasts for 6-7 months, and during that time, you won't be able to drive your car. But if you do decide to take a ride, never turn off the engine. The car will cool down quickly, get covered in ice, and the oil in the engine will freeze. If you turn off the engine for even 20 minutes, you might as well not even try to start it again. Just as I thought, no one around. Can you imagine what a massive waste of energy this is? Fortunately, Russia is a country rich in natural resources, including oil and natural gas. Some people use special covers for protection, but sometimes even that isn't enough. Those who can afford it keep their cars in heated garages. Houses here are built differently. They are constructed on stilts because the ground is covered in ice, which can shift over time. Old houses start to warp after just 10 years of use. Because the amount of ice either increases or decreases, the worst thing that can happen here is getting frostbite. Considering that a refrigerator operates at around 4.4 degrees and a freezer at -20 degrees, you could say that the entire city functions as a high-tech freezer. After all, the temperature here is -50 degrees Celsius. That's why some people store berries or meat simply by hanging them outside the window. Would it be possible to make a sled from this towel? If you take off your glove for just a minute, your hand will feel like it's falling off from the cold. If you stay outside for more than 15 minutes, you could get frostbite, your breathing will become difficult, and you'll start shivering, with sensations that feel more like needle pricks. After frostbite comes loss of sensation, and all of this can lead to death. Look, the lid has frozen, and the phones aren't working either. Just a few minutes ago, the battery drained by about 10%, and then it completely shut down, even though it was fully charged. How do they bury people if the thickness of the ice at the cemetery is around 30 meters, and this icy mass under the city doesn't even melt in the summer? They lay firewood and coals and melt the ice with fire over the course of 2 or 3 days. Once the coals burn out, the ice blocks begin to melt, and then they can break through it with a crowbar. After that, they can dig a grave to a depth of 2 to 3 meters. I suspect that the body of someone who died 100 or 200 years ago is likely very well preserved. 20% of the world's total diamond reserves are located in Yakutsk. In addition, all elements of the periodic table can be found here. The territory of Yakutia is rich in mammoth and dinosaur fossils, and in these areas, where mammoths once roamed, their preserved remains are still being discovered as the ice melts. In this region, people don't engage in agriculture. They catch fish, and one of the key features of the local market is that fish is displayed on open counters because it's much colder outside than in any refrigerator. A piece of meat left outside will stay fresh. They also sell frozen rabbits, which are often used in cooking, as well as duck and horse meat. The Yakuts are a Turkic people and make up the majority of the population. Only about 38% of the residents are Russian. Here on the streets, only mammals with very thick fur can survive. The car has double glazed windows, so when the car warms up, the heat stays inside. The most dangerous thing is breaking down on the road, because you could die from frostbite. You only have 30 minutes to fix it, otherwise, the engine oil will freeze. If people get stuck in rural areas without communication, they have no chance but to freeze to death within a few hours. That's why every driver always carries a toolbox with them. Horses here are much shorter than usual. They were specifically bred this way. Thanks to their smaller size, they retain heat much better. With a smaller body surface area, they have fewer concerns about the cold. But do they ever get cold? In Yakutsk, There is summer in July, with an average daily temperature of around 19 degrees Celsius. Due to global warming, permafrost is melting, and mammoth remains are being uncovered. But along with them, viruses are emerging that humanity has never encountered before. When Europeans migrated to North America, the flu they brought with them killed most of the Native Americans who had been isolated for centuries. The flu didn't kill us because we had a strong immune system. Similarly, forgotten diseases to which we have no immunity may emerge from the ice in these regions, and humanity could face terrible consequences. 1% of such land is suitable for agriculture, and that's only in the summer. In the Yakut language, there is no word for fruits. Instead, Russian words are used because fruits and vegetables are imported from other countries, and they are quite expensive. The Yakuts are a people bound by traditions. However, some of them do not speak Russian, while others know it. Everyone living in this region speaks Russian, and almost no one among the Russian residents knows the Yakut language. Education in schools is mainly conducted in Russian, and Yakut language lessons are usually taught in families. Here, families usually have 3 children. Temperatures above 30 degrees last for a very short time, and the summer season here lasts 2.5 months, with an average temperature of 20 degrees. In winter, the length of the day decreases to 5 hours, and in June, the sun does not set for about 20 hours. Yakutsk is located on land that is frozen both in summer and winter. This phenomenon is called permafrost, and its depth can reach up to 300 meters. Although a small amount of soil above the permafrost thaws and becomes regular soil in the summer, permafrost never fully melts, even with temperatures above 30 degrees Celsius. The price for fur begins at a couple of $1,000s. Young people prefer down jackets, while those who can afford it wrap themselves in fur from head to toe. Even the underwear is made from wool or mohair. It's impossible to walk from one place to another. If you still decide to do it, the road that usually takes 20 minutes will take a whole hour. Every 5 minutes, you'll need to step into warm places like grocery stores to warm up. That's why people even take taxis for short distances. Considering the financial situation of the locals, taxis are quite cheap. The operation of the city's public transport, for comparison, is carried out with old Japanese cars, all thanks to the 2,000-kilometer-long road built by prisoners in Siberian prisons during the Soviet Union era. If you're planning to travel to Yakutsk, here are my recommendations for you. Number 1, base layer, thermal underwear. Start with thermal underwear. It should be made from synthetic materials or merino wool to efficiently wick moisture away from the body and retain heat. Number 2, middle layer. Over the thermal underwear, wear a fleece or woolen sweater to retain warmth. This layer should be warm but not too hot, as temperatures in Yakutia can differ greatly between the outdoors and indoor environments. Number 3, down jacket or fur coat. For outerwear, choose a down jacket or fur coat with high-quality insulation. Natural materials such as sheepskin or mouflon wool are best, as they keep warmth even in extreme cold. It's important that the clothing fits loosely enough to allow air between layers, which helps keep you warm. Number 4, scarf and hat. The scarf should be warm and thick to wrap around your neck. A hat with a fur lining that fully covers your head, ears, and neck is ideal. Avoid synthetic materials as they won't provide adequate protection against the cold. Number 5, gloves. Leather or fur gloves with lining are perfect for protecting your hands. For added warmth, you can wear thermal liners or mittens under the gloves. Number 6, footwear. Footwear should be warm and waterproof, preferably with fur lining. It's important that the boots are high enough to protect your lower legs and have sturdy soles to prevent freezing. High-quality winter boots made from natural materials will provide reliable protection against the cold. Number 7, warm pants. It's best to wear insulated or lined pants that protect from the cold. For active outdoor activities, pants with a membrane that retains warmth while allowing the body to breathe are a good option. Number 8, additional accessories. In freezing temperatures, it's useful to have face protection, such as a mask or balaclava, to avoid frostbite. You can also wear warm woolen socks to keep your feet warm. By following these tips, you'll be well prepared for Yakutia's winters and able to stay warm despite the harshest cold.